Hey there, everyone. Okay, so these are some random tips and tricks. Not very good ones, not bad ones. Some are useful, some are not. Some will just help you get maybe the tiniest bit of an edge, but in a game like this, any little thing can help. Now, I'm just doing some that I haven't seen talked about a lot. If you want some good ones, there's a lot online. They'll go really in depth, and most of the stuff still applies, even though there's been a lot of updates. Okay, so this one is solos versus duos. Okay, so I kill that person, and I hear their partner off to the right. Tip 1, alert trip mines. Cover the sound of frags cooking. They can't hear it. And boom, I just killed her. I just won. Tip 2, if you're using a heavy knife, do not use the heavy attack on grunts. Use the light one. Save stamina. Barely uses any, and it'll one-shot them. 90% of the time. That said, heavy attack hives. If you're playing against somebody that's using an explosive crossbow, that shit can be quite annoying. So my tip is, throw down a choke, preferably in a point where, not necessarily like this, but this could work. Where you can create a wall in between you. You can still see them, you can shoot through and get them, but they can't shoot through. Next tip is for the new Army and Scotfield variants, except for the Swift. If you have no bullets, you expel all of the empty casings at once and you do a quick reload. However, if you have one bullet left, I would recommend just shooting it, because otherwise you get a much slower reload, because you have to take out each empty casing individually. And time is money. Baby, I tell you. Shot bolt can pen where regular bolts cannot. It's quite useful if they're right next to the wall. Now, if you want to go somewhere with shot bolt and you want to create a diversion, shoot into a different compound where you are not going. A few moments later, it'll sound like someone's over there. How many times have you felt super unlucky to get one of these out of a loot boxes? Well, say you're trying to get into a compound and those pesky fucks are just sitting around the corners and they won't move. So you can't push in, you can't do nothing. Well, say you have one of these. Use it. Throw it. They'll think it's innate. Cook it a little bit longer than that and then you can push in. It won't hurt you. They'll run back, giving you some space. Also, if they're annoying you, you can shoot it and it stops them if you don't have Dauntless. Okay, so a choke bomb. You cannot throw anything through a choke bomb, and most people know that. So if they throw that down and they're sitting around that corner, use a wax dynamite. Cook it, and boom, they're dead, because it'll go right through it. Trap placement. Now, a lot of new trappers want to just place it right at the door, like that. Well, this goes for 2 tips. Everyone checks there, and I recommend you check before you go in. You can just hop it. Does nothing. Useless. Place it a little inward, like so. Okay, so the enemy team's coming in. They check, no trap, and they push, and they're fucked. Now, if you ever have a teammate that gets downed and somebody throws concertina on them, or if there's a bunch of small PP fucking weirdos that use concertina to block every goddamn entrance to the goddamn boss lair because they don't know how to play the game and they're afraid to fight, well, find a stalker beetle, or if you brought a stalker beetle, use it. Watch what Mr. Beetle can do. And as you can see, it's almost all gone. Completely. It's pretty nice. So this one's been talked to death. A sticky bomb works for most bosses. Scrap Beak, Spider, Butcher. I wouldn't recommend Scrap Beak because you want to get that loot, but it takes off most of their health. This one works for poison and fire. You do not need to throw it directly on the source. Throw it to the side, so you leave yourself a path. And now you can run through, and I don't choke, or I wouldn't burn. And that even works for down teammates. They will be put out if they are set on fire. And that was a few tips and tricks. Some are useful, some are not that useful. Hopefully it helps. Again, this is for newer players, so good luck, have fun. If you have any questions, you can ask me, look it up. There's smarter people than me. They will probably help more than I would. But I've got 3,000 hours in the game, so I know a thing or two, and these are just some small things that people don't usually talk about, except for the sticky. But that shit's useful. So do it. Or don't. Have one guy on your team be the demolitions expert. Have him bring the sticky. Yeah. Enjoy the game. Do not crouch walk. Almost ever. It'll get you killed. Be aggressive. Be smart, but be aggressive.